Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good myself.
That's good to hear. So, with it, so you mentioned that you wanted to try live coaching today, so I'm definitely down for that. Um,
hmm
just to confirm, are we going to be playing ranked, or are you thinking unranked, or like what are you up for?
I'm probably gonna want to play ranked.
Wonderful. So with that, let me just adjust the OBS real quick. And let me get you my spectator code. Have you warmed up, or are you? Do you need to do like a like a warm up or anything?
Yeah, I've been warming up for a little bit.
Perfect. Okay. So have you ever? And is the game running right now?
No, not right now.
Okay. So with that, let's let me just ask you. So, what are some of the areas that you'd like to work on in your play? Do you have defined? Well, actually, do you have defined areas that you're like looking for my input on, or is this kind of a let's just take a look at a bunch of like raw game data, see what and see what insights we can draw, and like what things we can pull from there?
It's basically the latter. So recently, I haven't actually been playing as much Melee because I recently made the decision that I want to try and go for number one in HDR. So as a result, my practice in Melee has plummeted a bit, I guess.
Okay.
So I don't have as uh much gameplay to really look at or really to draw from in terms of my Melee gameplay recently. So that's kind of why I want to do a live session, see what we can gain, and then there's a couple things based on that I'd also probably want to talk about if they come up.
All right. Fantastic. Sounds like a plan. If with that out of the way, let's start the game. And okay, I see that you're here. That you've shared this. You're sharing your gameplay. Let's dive in.
All right, cool.
So you mentioned you're going to for first in HDR. Um,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Like, what are you ranked right now?
So I actually started playing the game. It's kind of weird. I played the game in 2022 as it released, but then I kind of dropped it since I was playing with my boyfriend and we weren't exactly used to it as much, and there wasn't a scene starting up nearby, so it was kind of just like a fun thing for us. And then recently, in late 2023, scene started in New England for it. So we've been playing it a lot more together. And after having like a bunch of time to just like familiarize with the game, get used to the meta. Can you see my gameplay, by the way?
Not right now. Not right now. Are you in the match?
No, I'm just on screen.
Okay, got it. So if you're stage striking, it won't show. It'll only show me like the actual fight.
Okay, solid.
Yeah.
Then I'll just get into that. But yeah, as I was saying, uh, as far as things go, we managed to both eke onto the top 50, just like on minimum attendance. So based on that, as well as some pretty recent, very nice performances from both of us, and honestly, being able to keep up with some of the top 20 and top 10 players from last year, it's something that I just kind of want to commit to. Especially since it's not an often thing that you have like instant top 10, like instant top player access that you just live with.
No, definitely not. Like that sounds awesome. Um, yeah. I hope. Like I think that yeah. Wow. I've never been good at other. I haven't ever really been good at like other games. So it's just it's amazing to me like the level of talent we have in this community, just like in general. Um, but I hope. Yeah, that's sick. I don't know what to say.
Thank you. If you're ever interested, I can show you some VODs.
I would
Funny this
definitely be
time.
down. I would definitely be down. That would not take much convincing out. With that,
Can you see my gameplay, by the way?
I can't. I cannot. So do you have cosmetic hacks like anything like that?
No, I do not.
Okay, so that's weird. Are you in? You're in a game though, right?
Yeah, I am currently fighting against a fox.
Okay, we might have to do Discord screen share then, because I currently don't
Sure.
see anything. We can wait till the second game though. You don't have to throw the match or anything like that.
Yeah, totally.
What's the fox doing?
Generally a lot of dash dancing play. Generally, kind of just waiting out for my DJCs, I'd say. I think that where I'm succeeding right now is being able to get him into a corner and catching kind of unsafe full hops with Nair and Fair. And then from there, I'm bullying him into disadvantage and then getting edge guards.
Nice. Yeah, so much of beating Fox in like every is just generally like put him in a spot where you can gamble and then like win the gamble and then kill him.
Yeah. Oops. Messed up my recovery. Sad.
Sadness. Just Ness things. I wish I understood why the spectate mode sometimes just didn't work like this.
Yay.
Oh, we won?
Yeah.
Nice. Let's share screen.
Totally.
So in Discord, just should be bottom left probably. Share your screen and then just the Slippy window, like that has the game. Excellent.
Sure. Can you see that?
Yep, we good. We're cooking.
Awesome.
Pokemon Stadium, if it's Fox, probably, or Yoshi's.
Yeah, I tend to prefer Yoshi's or Pokemon Stadium. Just a comfort thing from PM.
Fair enough.
Really common stage there.
I think that for me, I prefer Yoshi's, but like, I think that's just because I think my edge guarding is good, and I like the level because of that. I like that Nair. That Nair is very good. If you time it like properly, like it's like a weird like it's almost like you delay it by a frame or so. But like I find it does a good job of beating out Fox's short op aerials a lot of the time.
I am noticing a frame drop, basically, or a frame dip.
Oh, since we shared?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, let's see. We might have... Are you able to play, or is it, like, not... Or is it not... Is it impacting performance?
I can play. It's just, kind of noticeable, honestly.
Okay. If it... Let's maybe... maybe we'll drop this for this game, and we'll just, like, we'll troubleshoot after this, after this one. I don't mind adding 5 minutes or something. It's fine. Because we could have, like, we probably should have set this up better, but... and done a test, but, yeah. We'll figure this out. Good Nairs.
Thank you.
Ah.
Yeah. Tried to L cancel, got the auto cancel.
Makes sense. So one of the ways that I deal with that is I do the L cancel during hit lag. So like when you're hitting his shield or like him, if you input for it then it will you'll still get the L cancel if you land within 6 frames. So kind of
cool.
Yeah, so you don't have to do it like right before you land, and it makes it, and because you're on a freeze frame, like the window is a lot more generous. Nice F tilt. I would have maybe considered up tilting after the affair. Like, just for the knockdown if he ASTIs down like that.
Reasonable.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, his up tilt's small, so, like, sometimes it doesn't hit, but I feel like if we miss up tilt because it doesn't hit, Fox usually just, like, if Fox doesn't stay in the fight, if he, like, backs off or, like, goes for shine or something, it's not really the end of the world. But I don't know. I've been also liking F tilt lately too. Single down tilt into grab is sometimes funny. Kind of like jab grab, but like slightly better because because of the ASDI down. Like it's because of the downward trajectory, or like then it doesn't have vertical knockback, so there's no ASDI down on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Nice. Alright, hopefully...
That was a bit greedy. Oh well.
Yeah. So if the frame drop is impacting, we don't have to share screen, but we'll probably have to run a test after this set. And then if I don't mind like putting like another 10 minutes on it or something. But yeah.
I'm cool with sharing the screen for one more. I didn't really notice it affecting my tech skill that much.
Okay.
Nor my reactions.
Okay. Cool.
It's more that it skips frames as opposed to lags.
Okay, maybe that's a quality thing. You don't have other things open for like your... Oh, if we have FD, that's what I'd probably do, or Fountain of Dreams, one of the two.
I really like Fountain of Dreams because generally when the platforms are lower, it does make it so that I still get some of those FD combos, even with the top platform occasionally.
Yeah.
And also it still gives platinum for neutral.
Yeah, it's kind
That's my
of...
opinion.
No, that's fair. Like, I think the right stage is one of those two. I think that on Falco and Falcon, you just go FD because the up throw puts them on top platform, like that, like very early. But on Fox, yeah, I could see that. I could see this being right.
Yeah.
So if it's skipping frames, What type of computer do you have?
Ryzen 5 7600X, I think.
Okay, cool. So it's not like a Mac or something. It's just Slippy for whatever reason wasn't connecting on us. Makes sense. And it's still like, yeah, we'll run a test after this because I think we should be able to get this to work. But yeah. Try down tilting after the fairs. If you think he'll run in. I find it's like down tilting instead of shielding is what I prefer a lot of the time, especially if he's cornered.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Got up a little aggressively there. What were you trying to do with the double jump?
I thought he was going to land on stage.
Oh, okay, got it. Try to go, like, fast fall, when he, for that edge guard, try to, like, fast fall, like, if you know he has to up B, fast fall below him, and then come up early, but, like, with a bigger arc. Because I find then you have more ways, like, more time to react. Because you have a longer motion. Yeah.
sometimes there's just going to be a lot of things when I translate between games. Like in HDR, a lot of like it has the Rivals waveland wave dash, so you can go full horizontal, and then sometimes with this game it's like, oh, I need to angle it very slightly down in order to get the same effect.
Yeah.
So
with
I
this,
guess that's also
mm-hmm.
I guess that's one of the things that I wanted to get into as well. When transferring between games, is there like anything in particular that would help like ground me in Melee a bit more effectively? Because there is that grind imbalance that I was talking about where I'm playing significantly more HDR recently. But I do still want to, I guess, have everything ready for Melee.
No, that makes sense. Let me think here. Can you actually, while screen sharing is here, can you just can you refresh your Slippy and see if it's still showing share your gameplay under the start broadcasting?
Sure. It says broadcast started 15 minutes ago, and it is still sharing my broadcast.
Okay. Let me refresh. Let me do a soft reset on this. And I'm just gonna double check it. So it's still showing up here. I'm gonna close Slippy and relaunch it, and then let's try to test a game in unranked to see if we can if it's working. Because I think that especially if this is skipping frames, yeah, I just want to make sure that's running. Now you asked about the about how to ground yourself in Melee. So I guess the biggest thing I'd want to know, because I don't play the other games quite in the same capacity, but what would you say is different about them compared to Melee, just generally speaking?
So input-wise, I'd say that HDR is generally a lot more generous in terms of the technical necessity. There's no L canceling. You can turn off tap jump, which is what I do. There's actually a 5-frame buffer, so that makes gameplay, in my opinion, feel a lot more smoother when I'm transitioning back into that game, as opposed to in Melee, where sometimes just the lack of buffer will mess me up. And then a lot of other little quirks in there, like the aforementioned Rivals Waveland.
Yeah, okay. Do me a favor, can you queue up a game of Unranked? I'm gonna think about that for a second, but I just want to see if and just tell me if you're in a game or not, because I just want to see if this is working or not.
Sure.
So with the less, Melee basically doesn't have a buffer. If it does, it's very, very small. I guess the biggest thing there would be perfect. I can see things.
Wonderful. Oh my god, I just tried to parry that boomerang. That's another thing. Parry is a button input, and it reflects projectiles. So sometimes I'll do stuff like that.
Oh, right, because it's got the parry thing in yeah. So I would say that the biggest thing I would get used to is I'd honestly make use of some of the Uncle Punch training modules. I think that would be a good starting point to ground yourself, because it gets you to it kind of gets you to see how the numbers are different in a way that kind of that isn't nebulous, I guess. So that would be a good starting point. I'd specifically look at using reversal training to get a sense for so how does crouch cancel or ASDI down work in HDR? Does it have that mechanic? Is it a thing? And same with Rivals.
I don't exactly play Rivals, so I wouldn't be able to say there, but it is a thing in HDR. The one thing is, with a lot of things constantly changing, like character weights, move properties whatsoever, there's not really a consistent resource as to what moves do which, what breaks CC, what breaks ASDI down, and the like. So a lot of it is kind of just based on feel, generally.
Gotcha. Whereas Melee's it's a game that's been out for so long and it hasn't gone through patches, so everything is a lot more there's a lot more tangibles with it. Okay, I'm starting to see some of the distinctions. So I would say that the biggest thing with Melee is to ground yourself in Melee really just boils down to how efficiently you move your character and how effectively you get and how cleanly you play your character, you play your strong positions. while getting out of the opponent's strong positions with his minimal pain, but good stuff pulling that away from him. Like, Melee is a game that's just... I feel like the things that are good in Melee have kind of always been good in Melee for the most part. Like, this, because so much of it can be, just boils down to, like, its basics. Like sharking, mobility, like how well your character handles advantage, like, works with advantage states, how bad they are in disadvantage states, or how, you know, how well they escape it, or how they escape it. It's things like that. Like, there's not really many, like... I don't actually think there's many gimmicks in this game, like, all things considered. So I guess what I would say here is I would try to rely on things like the reversal training, even things like the wave dash training in Uncle Punch, to get a sense of, like, to just, like, kind of make sure you're, like, not make sure, but, like, get in touch with your basics a little bit more. Because ultimately those are the kinds of things that are going to, like, keep you, like, Melee is a game grounded in its basics, so that's where I would kind of start with that. In terms of, like, more character matchup specific things, that's a tricky one, because he doesn't have as much of a, like, his meta's not quite as concrete as, like, say, like, someone like Falco or, like, Marth or something. But, that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, though. Yeah. I don't think that would necessarily have to be a bad thing. Like, if his character, if he's not, I would rely on your creativity to, like, kind of, like, work, like, figure out the, like, nitty gritty of the matchups themselves. And, like, again, we do have a pretty good community in Discord, but at least on the so in terms of that side, you know, relying on the communities and working with, you know, just kind of relying on the game's natural systems to kind of, like, work itself out. That's kind of a tried and true thing. But I would say that, like, the one thing that you kind of can't cut corners on is just overall, like, the fluidity of your movement and working with the game's, like, strict precision systems. That would be how I would approach it.
All right, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think with character matchups, I'm not as stressful about that, because in HTR, and for a while, honestly, in PM as well, it's a lot of figuring out on the fly and just kind of using what you know about the game and the game's mechanics and how different systems interact with each other to be able to get ahead of your opponent. And I guess that.
Yeah, so this is, like, so the fact that he's, like, underdeveloped relative to other characters and stuff, like, that's just, like, whatever, that's a Tuesday. But yeah, it's just the game's strictness. I think that's going to be the real challenge. One shortcut I would strongly recommend in general is getting used to L canceling during the whenever you're doing low double jump cancels, getting used to L canceling during the hit lag frames on shield. Because then you just have, like, then it's just a matter of whether or not you hit the fast fall. It takes the like, yeah, it takes some of the work off of the timing, I guess.
Yeah.
So are we?
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Do you want to try it, or, like, are we in a ranked set, or, like, what's going on?
I'd like to do another ranked set first before anything.
Yeah. So let's queue up, because I was able to see the gameplay in that last game, so I think that, yeah, we just needed to refresh Slippy on my end. I've been tempted to pick up P+. There's some people who are telling me to play it.
If you want any Ness tips in that game, I'd be happy to share them.
Well, what is he like in that game? Like, how is he different?
I guess the biggest one that I've brought up in the Ness channel, I think, is the fact that that magnet is effectively a frame 8 shine, but the way that it kind of functions is it's more... I would kind of call it a float shine, if anything. It's a combination of those mechanics that really lets you take advantage of playing in the upper diagonal angle above your opponent to its limit, which combined with, I'd say, generally stronger movement rather than aerials, thanks to B reversing, PK Fire, which is significantly less laggy when landing, and a very threatening combo game overall on like the entire cast, means that like you're gonna be putting on a lot of pressure a lot of the time when you're playing him.
I really like how you're doing the diagonals here and getting above him. I would, after you hit that back air, I would try to cover the space that he can jump up from, like, with, like, a fair or something. So, like, on that same one where you faired him off stage and you forward tilted, I would have showed up faired there. Because, like, we want to create a spot, we want to catch where he can move to. And F-tilt doesn't really do that as well as fair does. In that spot.
Gotcha.
More like when you hit that weak nair, like I would honestly, the biggest thing I notice is like be bolder with your follow-ups. Like you hit a weak nair, he landed in front of you and tip or forward smash distance almost. I would consider like reacting in place and letting it rip if he like lands, if he hits there or techs there. Because it just deletes him if you get it, right? And then you're not, like, exactly covering... Like, you're not covering options, because you're also standing in place, so if he rolls inward, you're good. It's really just roll away that you're not hitting. Nice. Stupid Falco. He definitely wants an F smash or a bear.
Yep.
When he goes up to the platform, fairing him, like to hit him out of the fairing him to hit him out of like the back, like the falling aerial is not bad. Nice up air. That was really good.
Thank you. That was yet another very small mechanical thing, by the way. The gates for up air, or for F tilt and up tilt are a bit different between games, so. Yeah.
If you are gonna RTC him, I would recommend like dashing, and I would wave dash to where he's gonna be. After like the weak nair, if he gets popped up or something. Because then you're able to down tilt on the resets. Like for the resets on that option, but still like up tilt or forward tilt or grab on like the tech in place.
Alright. I'll probably want you to repeat that like after this game because I didn't fully process it.
Wave dash to where he techs. Like wave dash when you hit him and he falls over, wave dash to where he's gonna land. Nice DI. Go for some go for grabs sometimes on the whiff punishes, because he's shielding a lot because of the dash attack. Nice.
I'm seeing what you're saying about the shield. I think that one thing... I guess for ban. Hitting him. One thing that I do have trouble with when I'm trying to search for those grabs is kind of playing, like, getting close enough, if that makes sense. Like, I have an issue where I feel like I have to put myself at a much greater risk to actually get close enough to be able to do that, where even if they're getting comfortable enough sitting in shield, I'm figuring, like, say, a short hop there out of shield before I get out of there, or, like, a shine or something.
So, yeah, they're, like, it's scary. I'm not gonna, like, it is scary. And I know what you mean. What I would say, though, is that, is it really that much scarier than, like, them blocking your dash attack, though? Because, like, because you're moving towards them with it, right? Like, it's not like you're not being in range of, like, counterattack or, like, something bad happening if they block the dash attack. So I guess we're, like, the way I kind of, like, looked at it and what helped me was just understanding that, like, every time they blocked that, like, they could have hit me for it. Even if they didn't, they could have, like... So I just have to, like, I just have to accept this. Nice.
I didn't get the, auto cancel there.
I think you got the auto cancel. What were you trying to do?
I was trying to land and be ready for, jab reset in case they, mistech'd, or if they hit the tech, be ready for another follow-up.
I think you did get the auto cancel, but I think, like, there was, like, you might have timed on, like, the, you might have timed the input on, like, the 4 frames of, like, of lag, so then it might not have come out. I might have also just not seen it correctly. Falco. Nice. Oh, I would go for more fares when he's about to land on the platform. Like, just try to space around him, because remember, like, once he's falling and you know that he has to, like, land there, his options are somewhat limited. Like, after he full hops back airs, like, in those kinds of spots, I would meet him in the air more. Nice.
Was there a way I could have converted the knowledge of the fact that I was expecting him to go for the bear back to platform from top platform into a stock? Or was fair my best option there?
I think with fair, like, you did the fair so that you stayed below the platform, right?
Yeah.
I would have gone on the platform.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think, like, the thing about Ness is that he's better at moving down than he is at moving up. So usually I follow them up onto the platforms when I'm comboing them where possible. Just because, yeah, like, we have access to our grabs and stuff there. Yeah, and it's not as much of a hassle in general to, like, chase them because we're keeping them closer.
Alright, sure. How's that? Sad.
Okay. So we're trying to meet him up in the air at trajectories that, like, don't really work versus his aerials, right? So I would say that against those kinds of things, we probably need to be, like, backing up a bit and, like, looking for more things involving fair, or punishing him with, like, yeah, that kind of stuff. I'd also consider, like, wave dashing back into like F smashes, like on those big jumps. Yeah. But we're basically trying to chase him too much in those kinds of spots. Moving at like a similar trajectory, and I think you could have actually double up aired or like up air back aired, but nice. Okay, so he's dead. Yeah, I find that Ness doesn't really want to like compete head on with Falco in the air to air like so much, unless it's like basically against his fair. Like that, like yeah, like if you had up aired there, you would have been able to grab him after the unfair, like fair up air there. There you go. It's also good to like jump out of the way of his jump trajectory and then like move back in with like back air or something at the end, like when he misses.
That's rough.
You played for your outs though. That was good. I when he's hopping around like that, because of how high his full hop is, when he's hopping around like that, if we're trying to like catch him or like intercept him on the way up, it doesn't really work very often. I think we have to kind of let him have the peak of his jump a good amount of the time, and then we're just kind of like playing around the trajectory, his falling trajectories, because we have a lot of time to kind of like prepare for his for where he's gonna go, because he spends so much time going up.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. How committal is Falco's aerial drift when he jumps up in the air with a full hop? And if he's coming down, some of the immediate options I'd expect is either like a down air or like an air coming down. I guess once he has to commit to that, would you say that there's like... I guess what position do you think it would be good for Ness to like put himself in preparation for the landing option, or even just in preparation for where I'd expect him to drift?
Depends really. So let me see here. Give me a second. I'm gonna make something. So do that. We'll do this. Yeah, we'll make an arrow. So with Falco and Fox, they don't actually have... This also kind of applies versus Fox, because he's got a similar dynamic. But if we take it like... Let me share my screen real quick for this. So if Falco like full hops on if Falco full hops on a level, you know, this is kind of the trajectories he has to work with, and then he has the options to like if he does it in place, I mean. And then with double jumps, he has like the option to do like also like sharp jumps, like kind of around like that, around like this kind of trajectory. It's not quite as much as the original one, but like it still moves him a bit. So I guess with Ness as a Ness in this situation, like if this is us, I would say that we're kind of like looking to like align our forward air so that it kind of like rides like so that it kind of like grazes the edge of his fall trajectory. So we want to be kind of like around like maybe around like here. Like we want to be around like this general area, because if we see him like coming at us, we can hop up with it, and if we see him going in place, we can also do it. The only thing that we're not really covering in this situation is the away condition, but we still have things like dash attack and for attacking that. Like we don't really have to. We're trying to find ways that we don't have to commit when he's at the peak of his and like until he's like actually like falling basically. So we're not really making our decision until he's about here. And he's like because when at the apex of his jump, he kind of like they have that like movement they do that like where they start to like drift forward or like forward a bit or like go down or like move back. So that's really like the thing we're following, I think.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. If we can't exactly cover the drift back as consistently, then if we're already in the air, maybe we can go for a side dash to get back into the ground and just take the position.
Well, the other cool thing you can do is that if you're in the air, like depending on your jump trajectory, like if you did this one, you can just DJC forward.
That is true.
Yeah, like, well, this is one of our perks. The other the one thing where it gets complicated is if we're, like, below him. Like, if we're already in one of these spots, that's where things kind of, like, if we're here, for example, because we didn't get, like, our ideal spacing, which happens, then the hard part is, like, we want to, like, kind of, like, dash dance between points that, like, that help us, like, control his options. In this kind of, like, the other thing, if we're not going to dash, the other thing we can do is we can jump away. Because if he still, like, attacks this spot or this spot, like, with these angles, this is where, like, you know, DJC bears at different angles can be quite effective. So if we're kind of, like, my rule of thumb with Falco is if we're already in, like, kind of trapped by him for some reason, then my rule of thumb is I want to get out of there, and I want to get out of there with a jump so I can then, like, figure out how to, like, potentially counterattack him if he overextends. Or if he just, like, comes down with, like, something that he shouldn't. So I'm either going to jump this way or jump that way, whichever's closest. The only exception... is there ever a reason I would go here? I'm trying to think here. Because like, I'm still okay with this because he's giving me stage back. I might dash dance between the. I guess if I really want the grab, maybe I'd play around like this kind of like grounded area. But generally, it's either jump away here or like play at the edge of play kind of in this zone over here, and then like look for these kinds of jumps over here to intercept him. This is mainly for FD style layouts. It also works versus Fox fairly well, but if he's a full hopper. But yeah, this would be kind of like how I generally approach it.
Okay.
Yeah. Does
awesome.
that? Yeah, I think I think diagonal fair is like a really important part of this system in general, because it's the only move that we have that like, as he's falling below us, if we're like falling onto him with it, he just doesn't have anything that contests it, and that's very important because that's one of the main ways that we can like pressure him. I actually like attacking him from angles a lot with fair, and trying to like line it up so I'm hitting him with the strong hit as he's about to touch the ground or as I'm about to make contact with him. I think that strong hit, like looking for the strong hit fair specifically, is actually quite good. Like hitting, like a lot of times the fairs I hit only hit like the last 3 hits.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. It's my understanding that they combo together better in like P+ and stuff.
It's actually kind of a funny quirk, I'd say. In PM and P+, just the way that ASDI down works, I don't exactly have this completely exact or memorized, but if you hit them while landing with the second or third hit of fair, that'll actually put them in a state where they can't actually crouch cancel or CC or anything, so it actually guarantees into a crowd. Or a down tilt, or whatever combo starter you want, basically.
Oh, the things I
No.
would do for that.
Sometimes it's just better to try and go for the for those hits instead of strong hit.
No, for sure. I mean, heck, if it leads to stuff, then, like, it leads to stuff. Like, far be it from me to tell you not to do things that lead to stuff.
That is true. Although we are talking about a different game at this point, so, like...
That's true. I mean, like, Melee is full of, like, its own little, like, unique games. Like, we have the Bowser Ditto, which is the world's first turn-based fighting game, and, like, that's kind of neat.
Nice. Dude, I don't know what happened, but apparently a Bowser won one of our locals, like, in the past couple weeks, and I'm like, Modern Melee sure is a treat.
Mm-hmm. Are we queuing right now, by the way, or?
No. Did you want me to queue?
Yes. Sorry, my bad. I realized I was sharing my screen still, and that might have confused you.
Yeah, sure. I can do one more. I actually need to eat dinner and then head out to a weekly shortly, so...
Sure. So we'll cut...
I didn't actually have much time after 6.
Alright, my bad. Yeah, let's do one more rank set, and we'll go from there.
Sure.
Good luck at the weekly, by the way.
Thank you. It's just a casual thing. Trying out new characters, just trying to expand my roster slightly ahead of a regional.
Nice. Who are you working on, then?
Right now, I am playing Inkling, Diddy Kong, and Zero Suit Samus. Do you see gameplay, by the way?
Not right now. For some reason, it's not showing the match right now.
Mm-hmm. After the stock, I can just share my screen. I don't mind doing it just for like the last set.
Sure. I wonder what happened, because like it was working just fine, and then it like stopped working, and now I'm so confused.
I did close out a Slippy, so...
Oh, that would do it. Yep. That would definitely... Yeah, it's showing no one's broadcasting to me. So yeah, it should just be a matter of hitting start broadcast again. It should fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we have this option. Oh, Luigi. Okay. Nice. Perfect edge guard. Jesus. I probably would have done like a few things differently, but like, and they're all like, they're none of it. I don't want to say that your edge guard's wrong. Like that looked really, really clinical. The forward tilt was a really interesting choice, but I really like it. So with Luigi, a lot of times once he air dodges there, my thinking is just down tilt him, like force him low, then grab edge, right? But you kind of like, because it kind of like, it's simpler, but I don't know if like I had the right angle to hit him with the air dodge, but the forward tilt just overlapped him perfectly. So that's why I'm kind of like, huh, like that was interesting. I will say, I think, like, I'm really glad that you know this, that you seem to, like, know how to deal with wave dash characters, because I get very triggered when, like, Joey and, like, Seabass are talking about how Luigi's, like, the least fun character in the universe, and I'm like, this is so easy, like, what are you talking about? You just
oh
do...
my god. In PM, we had the best Luigi in our state, so I've had to deal with that matchup for so fucking long at this point.
Yeah, and like if you said that Luigi was like the worst matchup ever, I would be like she has experience against the best Luigi. Like if anyone is qualified to talk about how much this sucks, like fine. But like Joey, we're talking about like friggin' when Joey and Seabass are doing we're talking about like I don't know. I feel like these are not like the types of Luigis that like we need to be like fearing.
Mm-hmm.
I like short hop bear again. Like, I actually like short hop bearing to catch his wave dashes.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not really, like, wave dashing in. He's just kind of, like, turtling near the platforms. Nice, you got the outer shield timing. So when he's like messing around with the platforms there, I know that we go for fair a lot, but I feel like it might be better to nair or no nair in a lot of cases, just because A, it's quick. We can kind of like, we're just trying to hit him like around 30 up. I actually like nairing because we're just trying to hit him like after he's missed, you know? Like we're not actually competing with his attack a lot of the time.
Hmm.
And I think that Nair's like chunkiness is like quite valuable. Like there, like on some of these, I would have considered nairing, like especially when he lands, instead of going for the fair, just because we can land like immediately afterwards and just like go after him. Whereas with fair, we kind of have to like wait out like the full duration of the move.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Gorgeous.
Aw. I got a bit greedy and wanted to go after the bear, but it wasn't aligned, so I tried to get back and then died.
What do you think about just like stomping him there? Oh no! Whatever, whatever, it's fine. And the down tilt.
I've already forgotten the situation, so I don't know.
Oh, it was the after the up air, back air. Like instead of going out for the bear, just like stomp, like looking for the stomp.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. If he spaces those forward tilts and is really stubborn about it, sometimes I like just F-smashing them.
Okay.
Nice.
Alright. I was worried that not getting the ledge crab there would have mattered.
Nah.
But yeah, we gotta wrap up quick. I gotta eat and go.
Alright, we'll stop here, but yeah, I hope I'm sorry about the technical issues on this one. I hope you still were able to learn something from it, and, you know, yeah. But I do know that you have to go, so I'll be mindful of your time, and yeah. Take care, though. I enjoyed this. I hope you did, too.
Yeah, I did. I'll definitely let you know when I schedule the next one.
Sounds like a plan. Take care, okay?
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Fine. Bye.